there we go. Okay. Let me stay. There. Okay, so, back again on what can best be described as Catch-Up Week.
Together again.
And so it begins.
Yes.
Okay. So, we got a lot of catching up to do since we took last week off, basically. So, we start off this one, as Sarah so eloquently pointed out, with the Muppets Most Wanted, which I can only guess this movie was originally supposed to be called The Muppets Again. The name got changed halfway through and fucked up the intro song. It's actually kind of funny behind the scenes.
Yes, I watched a little bit of the Cinema Snob vlog of this, and
because we don't rip them off at all. I openly admit it. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Anyways, he said that the meta humor in this is very good, and I would agree.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as good as it was in the first one. Overall, I thought, oddly enough, it's like the song says, the sequel is never quite as good as the original, and that's pretty much my opinion of the case here. Which, like,
yes, but as Professor Benson Honeydew pointed out, this is technically their seventh,
but still, it's
sequel to their first 1979 motion picture.
Doesn't change the fact it's still a sequel to a better movie, so the theory still applies.
True.
So, but overall, it's like, I enjoyed it. I don't think it quite had like the pure contagious happiness that the first, like the last one had. But I still liked it. I saw it had some good qualities to it. It took me a while to get into it, but, I got into it. I had fun with it.
It made me happy. I mean, granted, I'm more of a Muppets fan than you are.
True. It's like, well, the first you know what I mean.
The 2011.
The 2011 Muppets. It's like, that one, like, from minute one, I knew I was just gonna love this movie, and I was right, because I was, like, smiling from ear to ear the whole time. This one didn't quite capture my attention in the same way, and it took a while for me to really become fully engaged in it, but...
Well, I can understand that for newer viewers, too.
Well,
the Muppets franchise... I can see that I appreciated. Now,
don't assume I have never seen Muppets before. I grew up on the Muppets too. Maybe not as consistently as you did, but I still watch. I still love the Muppets Christmas Carol. I still watch all the movies. I didn't watch all the shows, but I've seen quite a bit of it in my time. Now,
so, did you recognize the synchronized swimming as a part of the dream sequence in The Great Muppet Caper?
No, like I said, and it's been a long time since, like, I only very recently rewatched the first Muppets, and the first time since I was a kid. So it's been a long ass time.
Okay.
So most of that shit I don't remember.
It's not shit.
Euphemism. Don't take it. I'm not literally, well, or figuratively for that matter, but. You know what I'm talking about. Don't give me that look. That judgmental, evil glare. Alright. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So it's like, no, like, the first, in the 2011 Muppets, it was clear that there was such a, not just references, there was a pure love for the source material. Like,
yes.
Jason Segel wrote the first one. I'm not a big Jason Segel fan, but it was clear that he loved the Muppets, and it showed.
Yes.
There was a clear passion behind it, there was a clear message to get across, and it was just very well constructed. I don't think this one was quite as well constructed, and I don't think it quite... Well, it did have a very good heart to it. I'm not gonna... Don't get me wrong on that. I don't think it was quite as strong, mostly because there's a huge gaping plot hole that we both noticed.
That... I will concede this. That was the one thing that annoyed me.
It's like, and even I kind of dismissed it as they might have had a divorce between, like, the last movie and the reboot, but that's yeah, it's that's a horseshit excuse. Even then it started to bother me. It's like, we've been through this.
Yes. So if you are a newer viewer of the Muppets franchise, what we are talking about, spoiler alert, is in this film, Muppets Most Wanted, Miss Piggy, surprise, surprise, wants Kermit to finally marry her. So this annoyed me because they got married at the end of the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Granted, this is probably done better from what I understand.
Oh, yes. And heck, even her wedding dress in this is much better than the one she wore in Muppets Take Manhattan. But in Muppets Take Manhattan, an actual live-action human minister said, and I quote, "And because you share a love so big, I now pronounce you frog and pig."
And this is all true because it matters.
But an actual minister officiated Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog's wedding in the Muppets Take Manhattan. So they have been married since, I want to say that, yeah, that came out in the 80s.
Sorry, I'm tired.
Oh, I see how it is. I talk about
okay,
relevant.
let's stop this right here.
Relevant trivia, and you yawn. Okay.
You're just fucking with me now, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Give me the fucking evil stare you get there. That says, I'm going to judge you harshly, and give you like the smile that says, that just screams, you're gonna hear about this later.
Yeah, that last one was just me fucking with you.
Yeah, alright, fair enough. But he's like, I know you too well.
Yes, you do.
Alright, so, oh, by the way, start going over the plot. I'm gonna look up to see if that guy was who you thought it was.
Okay, so the plot starts off with meta humor of them wrapping up the first, or excuse me, you got me doing it. The 2011 movie.
Why don't we just call it the first one? Because Rue's gonna keep fucking it up. It's just gonna get really confusing.
Why don't we just call it Muppets, since that's what it was called?
But the first one's just easier. Come on. Let's not draw semantics. We're not gonna go all the way to the original Muppet movie.
So, Muppets Most Wanted opens up with them wrapping up Muppets, the previous film.
The first film.
Anyway. And then they burst into a meta song about how this is the sequel. And it's very catchy, and it's very self-aware, very upbeat.
And would have worked if they didn't change the damn name of the movie.
Yes.
So they keep saying it's the end song ends with the big crescendo with like, it's the Muppets again, which I guess was the original name of the movie, but some jackass halfway after, I can only assume after they either wrote the script or filmed the scene, we're like, no, we're gonna change the Muppets Most Wanted because that's edgier, or some stupid shit.
Yes. So,
and that's just like, great. Way to go, jackass. I don't know, Terry.
So that segues to the title, and then we see a rather kick-ass Kermit look-alike, except he
has a mole.
Yes.
That's his big distinguishing feature. Was I the only one that was annoyed that they CGI'd parts of the Muppets?
No, I was annoyed by that too.
Okay.
Because I'm old school. I loved and still love Jim Henson's live action puppetry. Yes, I know he died of pneumonia ages ago, but his work still lives on, and I still love what he created when he was alive. That being the Muppets.
Dominic was Ricky Gervais, or whatever.
Oh, okay, so.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the point.
Anyway.
Sorry.
The world's most dangerous frog, this kick-ass Kermit look-alike
with a bad Russian accent.
And
was it Russian or German? It was Russian.
Russian.
Okay, yeah.
Whose name is Constantine, meets up with Ricky Gervais, who plays Dominique Bad Guy.
It's like it's pronounced bagay or something like that.
It's French. Yes.
Which is kind of funny joke.
Yeah.
There's a few jokes here that made me laugh.
Yeah, it's very meta.
It's like and also of course it's like Muppet Standard. We have a lot of the cameos that are like 5 seconds, and a lot of the actors are kind of like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I got Christoph Waltz in here, which surprised me considering we go from the Jew Hunter to the Muppets? Where does that transition happen? Well, I guess they were in Germany. So
They were.
I guess it kind of works. But it was like, the entire time, he's like, here's Christopher Waltz doing the waltz. And he's dancing with the big guy. He's like, the entire time, look on his face was, I can't believe I'm dancing with a Muppet. Where has my career gone? First, I'm doing that shitty animated movie. Now I'm doing the Muppets.
Oh, he won an Oscar, so.
Yeah, I know. I guess after that, it's all downhill from there.
Oscar curse.
Okay, point taken.
But hey.
Maybe that's why Leonardo has never won an Oscar.
Maybe. Or maybe he just doesn't look enough like a masculine leading male.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
No.
Okay, that's a story for another time.
Yeah, watch our Django Unchained reviewed if you want to see my full rant.
Oh yeah, I forgot we talked about that.
Yes.
God, that was over a year ago.
Yes, it was.
That's what we were thinking about. Anyway.
That was my first episode with you.
Yeah, I remember it. That's weird. Anyway.
Full circle.
I'm tripping balls a little bit right now, obviously.
And you're fully sober.
I am fully sober. I'm just really tired, I guess. Too much busy work and staring at a computer screen. Anyway, so, where were we? Yes.
So
Bad guy becomes a new global manager because they said they're
of the Muppets.
Because they said they're going to take the Muppets full on
a world
tour. Little did they know that guy's really working for Constantine, who through a very elaborate swapping in what they called what was it called? Plot Point Lane or something like that, which I thought was actually pretty funny.
I missed that.
It was on top of the taxi cab, you know.
Ah, okay.
Because what happens is he slaps Kermit with a mole, like a fake mole, so everyone thinks that it's Constantine, although obviously it's not Constantine. Anyone took 5 seconds to really think about it.
Yes.
And the police show up, they take Kermit away, and Constantine takes up the role of Kermit to lead the Muppets, but of course he's really, really bad at it. Which is basically...
And gets stage fright on his first night announcing.
And meanwhile, you have...
Kermit.
No, and meanwhile you have Ty Burrell playing Jean-Pierre.
Oh, yeah.
With, what's the name of the blue guy?
Oh, Samuel Sparrow.
Samuel Sparrow, basically doing like a buddy cop thing. I kind of wanted to see them in their own movie. I would pay good money to see a movie between Ty Burrell and the Sparrow dude. Maybe that's why they don't have their own movie. Because I can't remember the goddamn names.
Yes.
Why am I so terrible with names? Anyway.
Oh, that's one of the reasons why you have us around.
Come on, think, this is the second kids movie with Ty Burrell that I've seen this month. He was Mr. Peabody too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. And completely irrelevant, but interesting. They're basically trying to figure out who's stealing all these artifacts, trying to find Constantine. I was trying to find someone they called the Lemur, which is very obviously Ricky Gervais, or whatever the hell his name is.
Yes.
Or Bad Guy. I'm just gonna call him Bad Guy because that's literally his name. That's not a clever nickname I come up with.
Yes, that is literally his last name. And the artifacts and heists that Constantine and Dominique Bad Guy are doing are not entirely random. They basically
pick the spot so they can rob the place next door.
They're basically on a treasure hunt.
Pretty much.
To get into the Tower of London to steal the crown jewels of London.
And I guess that's kind of what bothered me about the movie is, at least with the Muppets, the previous film, it's like, it was about the Muppets. It was about the characters. It was about how they interact with each other, about them working through their problems and getting back to... Of course, very comedically. I mean, it's really dramatic when I put it that way. But this one, I felt like the focus was more on this more kind of ridiculous plot than it was really on the characters. And they're really the reason I'm coming to see the movie. Because I do love the Muppets. I love Kermit. I love Piggy. I love Gonzo. I love all those characters.
I was bummed that in the climactic sequence we didn't get a signature Piggy. Hiya!
Oh yeah, they left that out, didn't they?
Did.
How do you do that in a Muppet movie?
I know.
And that's
especially when she's beating somebody up. It's required that she goes hiya.
And I guess that was another thing too. Is like the NC had a very good point about this, where it's like in the original movie, like in the Muppet movies, like, you legitimately cared about the characters. Like, the whole Piggy Kermit subplot in the first movie, it's like, you really wanted to know what happened to them, and you kind of really want them to, get back together, and that was kind of a big thing. You cared about the characters. Here, I feel like the characters are kind of sidelined. Hell,
Okay.
Walter, the character we spent the whole last film building up, which is something they point out in this movie, by the way.
They do. There is meta humor in this.
Of course, it's a Muppets movie. They have to have meta humor.
Yes.
But, it was like they kind of get sidelined until the second half of the movie, and it was like, oh yeah, we have this other character to deal with, don't we? So, so it's like, in the end, I guess I thought that was kind of disappointing. I think it kind of lacked the heart of the characters that I really enjoyed from the last movie.
I can understand
And
that.
I just felt that was kind of missing in favor of the whole treasure hunt heist thing, which you really didn't need that. I mean, why couldn't it just be about the Muppets going on tour?
Good question.
Like, it's just like, why do you need to make it needlessly complicated? It's like, again, going back to NC, it's like about the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, where it's just like, why can't it just be that? Why can't it just be about them looking for treasure? Why need this over convoluted nonsense? Just have them look for fucking treasure. That's all you need. And the Muppets, like, all you need is the Muppets put on a show. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So it's like, why can't you just have that? Why do you need the treasure hunt? Why do you need the unnecessarily... I take that back. Unnecessarily evil villain is kind of a Muppet staple.
It is a very over-the-top, cheesy villain.
Again, but even then, I felt like it was played more for laughs in the previous movie than it was in this one. Not to say that Constantine's obviously not a character to be taken that seriously. He's a fucking frog.
I will say this. It was kind of impressive and simultaneously comical to see it basically a Kermit double beat up all these soldiers and cops and stuff.
See, it really bothered me that was obviously CGI'd though. That annoyed me because
that makes more sense. Okay.
It's like, no, that was CGI'd. You can you can see like the computer animation kind of working a little bit there.
Okay.
And that bothered me because it's like, no, it's the Muppets. Leave CGI out of it.
Yes.
Like explosions, sure, I'll go along with CGI on that, but no, everything else, leave it be. You don't need to touch CGI. I guess I'm kind of getting to the point why I didn't like this movie. I didn't feel quite as much as the Muppets that I was hoping for.
It wasn't as authentic.
It didn't feel like quite the authentic. There was CGI. There were explosions.
Yes.
There were.
Well,
I mean,
there's always explosions, especially when Crazy Harry is involved.
Well, true. I mean, like more for like serious purposes rather than comical. Like they always kind of the cheesy cartoon explosions.
Yeah.
Like, and then like those I'm perfectly fine with. I have no problem with that. It's like, but you have the CGI, you have the convoluted plot, you have a lot of just unnecessary elements, and of course we're retreading ground we've seen before with not just in movies in general, because of course that's pretty much every movie out nowadays, but this is like, we've already seen the marriage in the Muppets before.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
And it's never addressed.
No.
Which is disappointing because they address everything else.
Except
most everything else, I just point out.
Most everything else. I mean, I could point out that the fact that the main bad guys are trying to take them on a treasure hunt is a throwback to Muppet Treasure Island.
True. Except that had that had a curry, though.
Yes.
That makes everything better. So I can forgive that. But,
I loved Muppet Treasure Island. But...
Let's give credit where credit is due, though. Tina Fey is awesome.
Yes, she is.
Tina Fey plays, like, the Russian jail... What do you call it? Warden of the Russian prison that Kermit gets to.
The Gulag.
The Gulag. And apparently develops, like, a major obsessive crush on Kermit.
She'll never let him go.
Never let him go. Doesn't have a great singing voice when she has to do it in Russian. But other than that, yeah, I liked her.
She was able to hit some high notes, though. Yeah,
she was able to hit some high notes. Again, that's you can tell that you can kind of feel the Russian accent kind of disappear on that point then.
Yes.
Which I don't blame her. Singing in accents is fucking hard. I've tried it. Yeah, I do it for a living. You know how hard it is to say happy birthday in a pirate voice?
I'd have difficulty trying in a straight face.
Yeah, there's that factoid too. But even on the prison scenes kind of went on a little long. But...
It did. And I know as we're talking about this, I'm pointing out more things that I did not like about this movie. May I just say that seeing this movie made me happy and that I enjoyed it. So I'm not knocking this movie, but I did notice that pretty much all the songs were lumped together in the first act or so.
Yeah, there were some sorts of songs that kind of just came out of nowhere, and you felt you could have easily cut it out of it, and it wouldn't have, like. And that's, again, another issue. I keep comparing this one to the one that came before, and it's hard not to, obviously. But it just, I felt like the first one that came before this just understood the Muppets better.
It did.
Like, it just, like, because the songs in the original one were just, oh, they were so good, and like they had such a great heart and a great feel to it, and there was a lot of emotion in there for a Muppets movie, which is impressive. Like the song when Kermit's in his mansion and he's singing about the times past and the portraits come to life.
Oh, I loved that.
That was a great song. Like
that was a great sequence.
That was a great sequence, and like the end song when they're like they're singing what's the classic song for the original Muppets movie? The Rainbow song.
The Rainbow Connection.
Rainbow Connection. That was great, and it was heartfelt, and you can feel it in the air, and it worked. Here, I mean, like, I will admit, I like the interrogation song. But other than that, and like the intro song, there's not many songs here that I'm gonna remember.
Fair enough.
And it's like, and that it doesn't have the same weight. It doesn't have the same heart. And overall, I guess I'm just my expectations may just be too high.
Maybe.
Because I just really like the Jason Segel version, which is I never thought I'd say about Jason Segel.
First time for everything.
So it's like, because I don't like Jason Segel that much, but I thought he made a great fucking Muppets movie.
He did.
And I was disappointed, and I was concerned. I've said this before. I was concerned when I found out he wasn't coming for the sequel, because basically, and I respect him for this decision, where he's basically like, I did everything I wanted to do with the Muppets movie. I don't need to do it again. So it's like, I respect his decision, but man, we could have used some of that here. I guess that's what I'm saying. I guess that's why I was a little disappointed.
Understandable. So on that level, yes, it's not the same quality as the previous film, but for a longtime follower of the Muppets, it's fun. It's a good 2 hours. There are a lot of cameos of lesser used Muppets from other Muppet films that I appreciated seeing, like the Muppet on the wall with the yellow nose was the innkeeper in The Great Muppet Caper. So I appreciate stuff like that. Even though they didn't have any lines, I appreciated seeing Wade and Wanda, who were in the Muppet television show. It's full of little hidden gems like that for longtime fans and followers. So so there is enjoyment. That's redundant, I'm sorry.
Enjoyment to enjoy.
And
look at all these wonders to wonder.
There is fun to be had in viewing this film if you're a Muppets fan like myself.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not as strong as a Muppets fan as you are. I'll be the first to admit that. Like, but it's like, I still like the Muppets, and I feel like I kind of understand what they are, or what they're trying to be, and what they should be. And I'm not gonna say it completely, like, it destroyed all the Muppets and, like, completely shattered them. No. It's not that. Like, there's a lot of this that I enjoyed. I'll be the first to say that. Like, I felt like the pacing got better towards the second half.
It did.
I was with it a little more with the story-wise. I like that they put Walter back in.
Me too.
And I like the interactions. I thought all that stuff was good. Again, I was just, basically towards the second half, I was just a lot more with it. I thought it was I liked the Loki, the cameo from Loki / Tom Hiddleston. I completely missed it.
Yeah, I missed that. But props for them getting Tony Bennett and Usher and Christoph Waltz and Selma Hayek.
Lady Gaga.
That's who that was. Okay.
You didn't see Gaga written on her shirt, on her apron?
It went by too fast.
Gotcha. But, yeah, that was Lady Gaga. But,
nice.
I don't know, like, of all the cameos, it looked like only Tom Hiddleston wanted to be there. Like, at least the ones I can see. Like, Tony Bennett is kind of like, hi, I'm Tony Bennett. Lady Gaga looks like, well, fucking Lady Gaga. So, not much for that. Tom Hiddleston, though, for those 5 seconds, he owns those 5 seconds. Like, look at me, I'm a prison guy.
There are no small parts.
There are no small parts, especially for Tom Hiddleston, who will do a crappy Tinkerbell movie and look like he's just having a good old fucking time doing it. So, props that he actually is. He's doing voice work for, like, a young Captain Hook and a crappy Tinkerbell.
Okay, then.
Like, straight to DVD thing. But, again, he looks like he's having such a good old fucking time doing it. So
he's getting paid either way.
Either way. It's like, well, you just gotta love an actor who just clearly loves what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, you know what? Honestly, I kind of wish Kermit was more with the Muppets for a majority of the movie.
Me too.
Like,
I did miss that.
Like, the stuff with Kermit and Piggy at the beginning was kind of interesting for Muppets. Like,
which part?
The part, well, you know, right before Kermit gets kidnapped, you know, where they have that little argument.
Yeah, that's right. Kermit and Miss Piggy have a rather realistic and intense fight.
About, like, realistically, like, getting married or having kids or what do we want and stuff. Like, it's like, why can't we have more of that?
Because for most of their relationship, I mean, I love Kermit, but he's a bit of a commitment phobe.
Which they make fun of, and one of the better jokes towards the end of the movie. Even I thought that was pretty funny.
And Miss Piggy is always the one chasing him, more so. I mean, he cares about her, of course, but Ash...
Also known as what every guy wants, to be chased. Anyway.
Really?
Well, at least I do. I don't know, I'm desperate and lonely, but there's a whole nother topic to go into there.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah. Tune in for Single Moms Club tomorrow.
Which I will not be seeing.
Yeah.
but yeah, so their relationship dynamic for all of the Muppets' existence has always been him, oh, I like you, but you're liking me way more and much faster than
I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it. And this has come to think of it, the first time that they've really realistically argued and communicated about that.
Again, that was kind of interesting. That was the interesting thing about the first one, too, is that it kind of explored their dynamic a little bit, or like, kind of like, well, what happened? Like, now that they're back together, it's like, well, where do you go forward with that? And granted, it's a Muppets movie. I'm not expecting complex character drama.
Me neither.
But at the same time, it's like, we all know these characters. We all love these characters. And it's like, you can take a risk and explore that different side. And you could very easily get away with it, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be all slapstick and jokes. Although, of course, we all love that, because, again, it's a Muppets movie.
Yes.
Like, I have to kind of emphasize that every time I make a counter-argument, because I'm afraid people are going to say, you're taking it way too seriously, dude. But, I mean, I'd like to think I have a valid argument. If you agree to some extent, at least.
To some extent, yes.
Fair enough. Alright, like, obviously, you're the bigger Muppets fan than I am.
Yes, I have the first 3 seasons of the Muppet Show on DVD, and I have VHS copies of at least 3 Muppet movies, and I have the Muppets Wizard of Oz, which was just a made-for-TV movie on DVD. They did a Christmas movie years ago called A Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie that I asked my mom to videotape for me. So, yes.
I don't.
I'm a fan.
So, obviously, you probably know a little bit more of this than I do.
Yeah, I'll admit it. So, part of the, I don't know, formula, if you want to call it that, or part of the established bit of the Muppet social dynamics is that their relationship, that being between Kermit and Miss Piggy, hasn't changed. I mean, they got married in The Muppets Take Manhattan and obviously didn't acknowledge that.
But, shh, not important. We're just gonna ignore that, because we need to get the plot moving. I'm almost surprised I actually didn't make that joke.
I know!
Because I would have totally worked in a Muppets movie.
It would!
Or it's like, hey, wait a minute, didn't they get married in New York? Shh!
Yeah, they got married in New York. So, yes, I can understand why they haven't gotten married, even though they have.
It's Spider-Man all over again. I don't expect anyone except nerds to get that joke.
Oh.
Yeah, one more day.
Yeah.
That's what happened between the Muppets. And the Muppets went to go to space, or whatever the hell that one was.
The devil wanted...
The devil wanted to break up Kermit and Piggy's marriage. This is why they're not talking at the beginning of the Muppets. My God, it all makes sense. Doesn't it, though?
It actually does!
The devil, played by Ricky Gervais.
Well, he is
Also
that guy.
known as the lemur. This explains also the Mario suit at the end of the movie. Only the devil will wear something that stupid. This makes way too much sense not to be canon.
It does! In a scary way, it does. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Enjoy that, Marvel fans.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't think we're gonna top that. I think we should just move on to the trailers.
Yeah, so you've heard us go back and forth about it. What I'll sum up to is that I enjoyed it. If you are a Muppets fan, you're going to enjoy it. Is it the same caliber as the Jason Segel efforts? No, but it is full of aspects and trivia that Muppets fans will appreciate. So if you're a Muppets fan, I would say see it.
I would say, like, compared to the one that came before, it's not even really close, in my opinion. That's not to say it's bad. It's not. I've seen far worse. But, I mean, there were all parts that I enjoyed, but I just didn't feel... I guess maybe my expectations were too high for a sequel, I guess. So maybe if you're just looking for good fun, you can find it here.
Yes.
It's not as fun as the one that came before it. It's not as good as the one that came before it. But overall, I'd say it's worth checking out. I'm not sure I'd go see it in theaters, but maybe like on DVD and stuff like that, you can't really do any wrong with there.
Depends on how hardcore of a fan you are.
Pretty much, I guess that's kind of where it comes down to. But I'm loving this just for the one more day theory. Because
that was ingenious.
Thank you. Sorry, no, I just got the Satan song from South Park in my head, you know. Somewhere up there.
Oh, from Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
Yep.
Nice.
Where the sky is blue. I actually know a fair amount of the song.
Oh, I used to sing Uncle Fucker all the time. I loved the South Park movie.
Great movie.
Yes,
anyway,
it is.
So, yeah, let's move on to trailers then. We got 3 trailers, all of them for animated movies. I take it back. The first one... Was the first one live action or was it?
It was live action. We pretty much got all kids... all family films.
Remind me, which one was $1 Million Arm?
That was the live action sports one.
Oh, yeah, the one you could basically tell how it's entirely going to end just from the trailer alone.
Yes.
It's like, where, the guy from Mad Men, Donald Draper. Yeah.
Oh, that's him?
That's Donald Draper.
Okay, then.
Donald Draper from Mad Men works as a bankrupt, like a near bankrupt sports agency, who proceeds to recruit 3 Indian cricket players who just have a great potential to be great players, but you think he's only using them so he can save his company, but no, he's got a heart, and the kids mean something to him, and they go on a long journey where they have tryouts for the major league baseball, and you think they're gonna get it? Oh gosh, golly, I don't know, but I sure hope, because they got a lot of heart and a lot of spirit, and it's a Disney movie, so of course they're gonna get in the fucking major league. We know where this is going. It's the Mighty Ducks. We've seen this before. Okay, it's not quite the Mighty Ducks, but it's the same sports movie cliche pyramid that basically it's gonna combine under the Disney landmark that they've been doing on the Disney Channel since I was a kid. So
fair enough.
So obviously my opinion very strong on that one.
Clearly. So that was the one live action film that we got, which based on a true story, quote unquote.
Second one, I've talked about this one before. Still really looking forward to it. How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yes, when I recognized what it was, I got very excited.
I noticed, yeah. But yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again, looks great. I'm very optimistic about it. The CGI, like the animation is fantastic. Just like the scale they have this time around just looks astounding, especially towards that very last shot, the money shot at the very end. It's like, it looks spectacular.
It does.
So I mean, do you have anything to add to that, or?
Sign me up, I want to see it.
Alright, next one. Now we're on the other end of the spectrum, where it just looks terrible, which was Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return. And they got Kelsey Grammer in there. I don't know how the fuck they got him, but...
Maybe he's looking for work? Good.
He's such a... He deserves so much better than this fucking piece of shit. Where it just looks like lazy animation, where it just looks like it doesn't even belong on, like, one of those little cheap kid channels.
Yeah, so... In, I want to say, the 90s on Saturday mornings, there was a 2D animated Wizard of Oz cartoon that I watched, which admittedly was very cheesy and silly and slow-paced and stuff. It basically continued, the premise was Dorothy went back to Oz and she met up with her friends again, and they continued their adventures in Oz. That's what this film reminded me of, except instead of charming 2D hand-drawn animation...
We have crude, crappy 3D animation.
Yes.
And it's just like... Here's the kind of problem. It's the same issue with, like, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, where it's like, it's trying to bring logic to a world that's very purpose, is that it has no real logic.
And honestly, seeing this trailer made me want to go back and read...
Like
the books to see if there really was a Jester character.
I don't think there was.
I don't remember.
I think they made this shit up because, like, oh, here's an IP that we can use because it's not technically copyrighted, so we can use that. And it's like, I'm not a huge Wizard of Oz fan, but I know enough to know that the sequel to the original Wizard of Oz did not involve this shit. In fact, I'm pretty sure an actual sequel to the books was actually done by Disney. Return to Oz, I think, was just great.
Yes.
That's actually a pretty good movie. I think that's closer to the source material than this movie is.
It is, and that movie combined two of the books, I think.
Yeah,
so.
But either way, it's like, that is more of what Wizard of Oz is about. This clearly is like, here's an IP, we're not going to give a shit about being faithful to it, but here's a bunch of slapstick characters, a bunch of big-name actors, make it work, is kind of what it seems like to me.
Basically, and as I told you last year when we saw Oz the Great and Powerful, I'm an Oz fan, but I think I might pass on this one because it doesn't strike me as actual Oz.
Yeah, I agree. So last one we got, now we're kind of in the middle ground with Rio 2. I've seen this trailer before, I've talked about it before. I'm not,
I've seen it before too, and admittedly, the trailer does have a few funny jokes, which made me chuckle, but there doesn't seem to be too much substance to it.
No, I mean, I like the actors behind it. I like Anne Hathaway. I like,
me too.
Social Network dude, whatever the hell his name is, who's now Lex Luthor, apparently, which should be interesting.
Really?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, he's Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie.
Wow. Okay, then.
Yeah, I know. We got Superman, Batman, and Zuckerberg as Lex Luthor. So, and Wonder Woman. Let's not forget Wonder Woman.
Oh, she's finally coming to.
You are behind on the news, aren't you?
I've been busy and tired and stressed.
Oh, I got some stuff to catch you up on.
Yes, you do.
All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up there then. So, yeah, I guess how much you like this movie depends on either how much you like the last one or how much of a Muppet fan you are.
Basically.
So that's all we got for today. Tomorrow we'll be back again in this long week. Last week we're trying to catch up on everything.
Because it's spring break, so...
Yeah, so we have time to catch up on everything. Tomorrow we're going to check out... Oh, fuck me. Tyler Perry's Single Moms Club.
Which Patrick actually signed up for. Which
Patrick, after looking at the synopsis, sure, I'll do it. Which means he's probably going to like it and I'm going to hate him for it. So...
Well, I already told you the basic... summation that I heard.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. But it's a Tyler Perry movie. That name and quality don't go in the same sentence. So
very true.
So we'll see what happens there. Then we got The Wind Rises, which It's not really much theaters anymore. We're gonna check it out anyway because I actually want to see the fucking movie. But and we got Need for Speed later this week, and we're gonna try to get to Captain America early because I want to see it.
Me too.
So
Me
fuck
too.
it all. We're gonna make an effort to go see it. So look out for that. We got how many 5 fucking videos this week. So wait.
Making up for lost time?
Yeah, 5 videos. So we're making it for last time, and we're gonna try to keep it consistent. Hopefully, we'll get backed up again for the second time this fucking year. So we'll do what we can. See you guys later.